at WLFE-DB.com for upcoming shows and so much more.
Hey everyone, it's Tuesday night again. You know what that means, don't you? It's time to join Mike and Kristie for another episode of Where's My Sage? A show hosted by a psychic medium and a guy on a quest to find Bigfoot. Who would have thought? Together, they will take you on all sorts of adventures, and not with lots of different people. Kristie even gives readings. It's time to sit back, get up and get ready. You can't sample the universe sitting down. Your hosts are waiting. Come on, let's go.
And I removed Kristie from the stream when I went to unmute him tonight. Good evening. This is Mike from Where's My Sage with my wonderful co-host, Kristie London. And
where else are you from now?
Yeah, I don't know where I'm from. I'm over here.
You don't know where you're going. You know where you're going.
Yeah, what show we're doing tonight, what show we're going with this week.
Lord, man.
Again, it's been a crazy day, and on the second half, I got some really cool Bigfoot news, so we'll hit that in the second half of our hour. But how are you this evening? And
I'm good. We're here.
Yeah, we're here.
We're good.
We're here in a little bit of a rush tonight because we got some great guests and we got a little bit of time constraints here this evening. So say a couple little hellos. Hello, Jeannie.
Hi, Mom. Okay,
hello?
It's Jeannie.
Jeannie.
Right.
Well, maybe I should put glasses on or something tonight. I can't.
Or just call her Mom.
Talk. No, okay. I see. Well, that just lost my 5 bonus points with her for the rest of the week, I guess.
Well, she's not going to tell me to tell you about any cool shows on TV anymore. That's it. You're on the B list. There's an A list and the B list, and you're on the B list now.
I'm going to just go hide in the woods back here. So, we'll just
there you go.
Happen,
So good evening, everybody.
Just hiding in the woods. There we go.
Oh, how is everybody? How was everybody else's week? It was pretty good, though. It was pretty good. We're making progress, right?
Yep. And hello, Michelle.
Hi, Mom, too.
Mom, too. Yeah, that'll work, too.
Mom, too.
Okay. So
Let me sound out the first thing.
Yeah. So we got a cool show tonight. We got some great
guests. We do. Yes, we do. And very excited because they're like our twins. This is going to be great.
Yep. So, and hello, Pam.
Hi, Pam.
So why don't you introduce our guests?
So yeah, we don't want to waste any time today.
No.
So we have two very cool people coming on today, and they have a lot of experience and a lot of background with paranormal investigations, and they started with their own group and slowly made their way up. So we have Brian Murray and we have Richel Stratton on tonight from Ghost Hunters, A&E's Ghost Hunters. And now this is your cue, Michael. Where are they?
I got it on time for.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Welcome to the show.
For having us. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom, too.
Moms.
And everyone else. Hello.
We have to do our, weekly ritual. Mike screws up some names. We have to correct his grammar beforehand. It's a whole thing.
This sounds so familiar. It's not even funny.
She's getting there, though. She's getting there.
Love it. You guys are in for a treat tonight. That's great. So how's the weather where you are?
It's cold right now and it's windy. It was snowing. It was raining. Then it was snowing again. The weather here is stupid. You never
right.
I love it.
It'll snow in the same day, be like 70.
I don't like sweating through my shoes.
Okay, well, I'll give you that. I will give you that.
Is that where you sweat through first?
I was going to go with that.
So I like it cold, man, and it's cold here, so I love it. I love it. I don't really like the snow, but I like the rain, and sun's not I'm not a fan.
We are the two sweatiest people you'll ever meet. sweat so bad that like my hair is wet underneath. I have like the unibrow, the mustache, and the goatee sweat. My eyebrows just like start melting down to a mustache.
I'm on my third already.
He's on his third birthday and it's 32 degrees out.
Oh,
I didn't bring water over, but I may dehydrate.
well, then I can only imagine what you're like on an investigation.
I was just gonna say, can't check them for something good going on.
Oh my God! So, what state are you guys in that this weather is so crazy? Because you're describing Western New York.
Yeah.
We live in Southern Illinois.
Wow. Okay. All right. Because you sounded a lot like our area here.
Yeah.
You know, all 4 seasons in one day sometimes. So, yeah, it's crazy. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I know everybody's probably going to have some questions for you, so we should probably get the show on the road, huh?
Yes.
Whatever. Let's do this.
Excellent. All right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you each got involved in the paranormal? Give us a little bit of the backstory.
Okay.
Some of those
You want
secrets.
me to go first or you?
Do it.
All right.
Do it.
So I had my first paranormal experience when I was 8 years old. I woke up in the middle of the night to someone standing at the foot of my bed, and they were dressed in period clothing. They had a bonnet on, like an apron. A lot of the dresses that you're seeing at Target right now that they're selling, that's what they were wearing. And some of you might know what I'm talking about. Some of you might not. They're
I've seen
like,
those
the
recently.
Little House on the Prairie dresses. Yeah, that's what she. So I told my mom about it, and she didn't believe me. The following night, my sister woke up to the same person standing at the foot of her bed. So our mom was kind of like, okay, there might be something to this. But she was really not about the paranormal. So when you're 8 years old, there's only so much you can do. Eventually, you know, at holidays, we play with the Ouija boards and all that stuff, summoning demons at Christmas, you know, fun thing. And then as I got older, in my 20s, I started to go to different ghost hunts and paranormal events with my sister. Eventually, she was like, hey, they have paranormal groups, and I'm going to try to join this team. Do you want to come? And I told her, no, you go first. And if it's not a cult, then maybe I'll show up. Because let's be honest, you got to be a little suspicious of things in the paranormal, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just a little.
Oh, yeah.
So she went. She's like, these people are awesome. It was so much fun. She's like, I'm going to talk to the founder and see if you can come along. And I was like, okay. She's like, okay. So he said, no, not this first time. I was like, okay, but I really want to come. I was like,
jerk.
this guy's like, there's plenty of ghosts.
Where's my button?
So she kept badgering him and badgering him and badgering him. And then finally he caved and I got to go and I just loved it. And I loved all the people. And I was like, I want to join. So he asked me a series of really stupid questions that had nothing to do with the paranormal. And then he told me to flip a coin. And if it was heads, I was in. If it was tails, I was not. I flipped it. I lost the coin. Couldn't find it. Still let me in.
This guy sounds brilliant.
This is a piece of work.
I like him.
So yeah, that's how I got to the paranormal field. You're up.
Gotcha. So, Ryan,
Okay.
there's some explaining to do here.
Yeah, I didn't want her.
I'm still not sure, but I'm stuck with her now.
She's passed the test now, but it's been.
Oh my God.
So when I was around 16 years old, I went over to a young girl's house to try to date her. Brought my buddy Matt with me. While we were at her house, she went to the restroom, and her mother came out with. We're in the basement. She came out with a tray of drinks, and she bent over to set. Nobody has trays anymore, but I have trays too.
I have a tray.
I might have that tray. She set the tray down on the table. She bent over to put them on the table, and behind her was a man standing there. He made eye contact with us. He turned. He walked away. I looked at Matt and I said, so I'm ready to go if you are, because I don't like this girl. I don't know her. I don't need to. We left. I still have not spoke to the girl. Let her know that
I always joke and say that we're still dating.
we're not. Anyway, on the way home, it scared us because there was a guy there, and then he went away, was there. So just started researching anything I could on the paranormal phenomena because I was scared. Watched anything I could, read. That's when I used to read. I don't read much more. I don't do it at all anymore. I don't even like to read my phone. Yeah, I decided that I'm going to figure this out because somebody's going to come up to me one of these days and say, hey, I'm scared of what's going on in my house. And I wanted to be able to be like, dude, I know how that is. Let me help you out. And that's what started it. I was in the Marine Corps for a good period of time, and I ended up seeing a show towards the end of my career in the military. I saw a show called Ghost Hunters. And I thought, it's easy. Like, these guys are regular Joes, and they're awesome. And look what they're doing. We can do that. So I called Matt again, and I said, I'm moving home. I'm done with the military. Let's start a group. And he said, that'll be fine. Let's. I've been thinking about it too. So we started Riverbend Paranormal 2007 or so. Went on some investigations, and ever since then, it's been a major part of my life.
Talk about the turning point when you got, tried to tell someone no about joining the team. But
Yeah, I want to hear that story. What's
about that one?
I'm at a softball game.
Because I feel like that's a very interesting story. That people
We can't do this. I'm at a softball game, and my phone goes off. You look at it, and it's this young lady that says, hey, I'd like to join your paranormal team, blah, blah, blah. This lady was very pretty. It was her sister. And I was like, okay, that's a fake profile. So I'm going to go at bat. I'm going to go bat and get back to the phone later on. I'm not worried about that. I didn't think it was a real profile. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen it.
Yeah.
So I did an
Yes.
answer, and then I got another one that says, still really interested or something on those lines. And I was like, okay. So I met with her, and she joined the team. And I was like, she's great. She's amazing. And she's like, I have a sister that would like to come. And I was like, no, I don't need her. I didn't know her at the moment. So I was like, I don't need her. And she asked us, a couple of times, and I just was like, no. And then finally she wore me down, and then she showed up, and I was like, okay. So I want to keep her too. And I put her through a series of tests and questions to join the team. One of the questions were,
it was so stupid.
there's no paranormal questions at all.
None whatsoever. I was like,
The question was,
am I joining a
if
cult? Especially after you asked me this question that he asked.
yeah, I was like, so if you're going to throw a party, would you have Kenny Chesney?
Kenny Chesney.
Which I don't even know who is. Or Lady Gaga. Who would you invite? She said, Lady
Kenny Chesney all the way. Oh, sorry.
Gaga. Lady Gaga. And I was like, well, you're in. I didn't answer anything at that point because I didn't know what to do. So that was her test to get in. She got in, and I haven't been able to shake her yet.
That's awesome. Good thing, because she seems to know her stuff.
Hey,
Well, thank you.
she's
You're
great.
welcome.
I like it.
That's awesome.
Wow. We're best friends now. I wore him down. He can't get rid of me. So, there's that.
That's how it's been.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Real family.
Hi,
Hi,
guys.
George.
Hi, George.
Hi, everyone else. But so that happened. We started investigating with each other, and then
Yes.
do you want to talk about how do you guys care how we got on Ghost Hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love her.
actually, we
let's
do,
just
because
dive right in.
we've got some questions, and if it's a show's coming back, so let's find out how you guys got to that.
Yeah.
Change that up.
Let's hit it.
And again, folks, please like, share, subscribe, get the word out there. Let them know we're here. So.
Yes. So, okay, I come home from the sewer line that I was working on. I was in my bibs, dirty, smelly. Got a phone call, didn't recognize the number. Thought, oh, bill collector. Let's go outside and see what I didn't pay. We've got water, we've got lights, right? I'm trying to figure out what it is. I get outside, and it was a lady that said, would you be interested in doing a paranormal show or doing a Skype interview for a possible paranormal show? And Richel and I had done a few of those, and they always turned out to be whatever.
The thing about that is people, like when you're in the paranormal field and on a team that, like our team's pretty well known around our area and has a pretty good reputation, you will get calls from producers or whatnot that want you for a show. And the first time it happens, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be on a show. And this is not something that I ever even thought of when I joined the paranormal field. Like I just thought I like ghosts and I want to know more about them. So let's do this. So the first couple ones we were kind of like super excited about, but nothing ever came of it. We're still mad at the first lady who called us because she really let us on and then she ghosted us, which I know your name.
I don't even remember.
I told you I liked your couch. And you did.
The couch was, I don't even remember you.
Off on a tangent.
We're not even bitter.
No. So anyway, by the time this rolls around, we were like, okay, sure you do. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I just interject, but
It's
you're
okay.
supposed to pick back up.
Do it. Anyways, I got on there and I just answer my questions like I'm in my beds and I'm like, so we win no. And they're like, these questions and I'm just asking like, yeah, I mean, I got a paranormal team, blah, 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 I'll do that. And the guy was like, I love you. I was like, oh, okay, well, I love you too. What else do we need? I want to get some producers in here. I want to send you and let the producers see this and all that. I was like, okay. They called me back with the producer, and they were talking to me. And they're like, hey, we know that you run a team in your area. Is there anybody on the team that you can talk to or that we can talk to? I said, you can talk to all of them, whoever you want. And they ended up looking down the line and seeing who they wanted to speak with, and they picked Richel.
So when they called me, I was like, okay, sure, why not? Like, let's talk. I didn't know if it was a joke, like a prank, like Brian was trying to prank me about something. I was like, okay, whatever. So I was talking to this guy, and I was unapologetically myself. Like I cussed, I said whatever. He was asking me questions, and I do this weird thing that after I answer a question, I end it with, I don't know. Like, I honestly, I have no idea why I do it. I still do it. I'm fully aware that I do it after everything that I say when I'm getting interviewed, and I can't break the habit. So he's asking me these questions, and I answer them. I'm answering them fully, completely. I know that I'm answering them fully. And then I say, I don't know if that answered your question or not. And he called me out on it. He says, you say that a lot. I said, I say what a lot? He's like, that you don't know, but you answered it. I said, I don't know why I do that. I just do. It's a nervous tick, I guess. I don't know. And he's like, okay. So towards the end of the interview, he's like, do you have any questions for me? So I fired off like several questions. And he answered all of them and then was like, I don't know if that answered all your questions or not. I was like, aha, it's not so easy, is it, when the roles are reversed? So I was kind of like giving the guy who was interviewing me for a potential job shit. Like, why would you do that? You're supposed, like, this is just the beginning of Brian and I not putting our best foot forward. I don't know. But he ended up saying he loved me as well. I was like, okay. You don't know me, but I'm sure you'll get buyer's remorse eventually. But okay, let's continue to do that. They eventually called that. Like we had a couple other calls, and then they're like, "We want to fly you out to California." to do some investigating on camera. And I was like, okay. I told my husband about it, and he was like, who are these people you're talking to? He's like, I want who they work for. Like, because he's like, sex trafficking is a real thing, and you're flying out to California to be on a TV show? He's like, no. So he was looking all these people up, and he's like, all right, they actually work for the company they say they work for. And he's like, and if Brian's going too, then okay. He's like, I have fun, good luck. So I clear it with work and everything, get my patients taken care of, get childcare for my kids and stuff. We fly out to California, walk in, and they have they meet with each one of us and start talking to us. And this one guy who was talking to us, he said, okay, so we have you for the week, but you may get sent home early. And I said, whoa, what? He's like, yeah, we'll have you do you have to take some tests, like an IQ test and then a personality test and a psych evaluation and everything, and then investigate, but we may send you home early. I said, no. And he was like, what? I said, no. I said, you're not sending me home early. I said, I got work covered. I've got childcare. You have me for a week. So I said, I don't care if you don't want to do the show. This is a mini vacation for me.
You got it.
I will get water for you. And he was kind of like, he didn't laugh. He didn't have a sense of humor. I'm going to be honest with you. He's very intimidating and scary. But anyway, they ended up keeping us. We had to go in and interview in front of head honchos. Whoa. And Brian went in first, set the bar. And and Brian, go ahead and tell him what you did.
I don't know that I'm sure.
Okay, we don't want to talk about it. Anyway, we didn't put a
just spoiler alert, we made it.
They called us, and then when they called us and told us, we were like, okay. And the guy was like, this is a good thing. You can be excited. I was like, I am. He said, this is what you sound like when you're excited. I was like, mm-hmm. But all I was thinking was processing, when am I leaving? Who's going to watch my kids?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to quit my job right now? Holy shit. What is, I just,
right.
Okay. I did this and I'm excited, but I didn't think it was ever really going to happen.
Right.
Where you're like, yeah, sounds good. Let's make plans. And then when the plans come up that day, you're a different person and you're all of a sudden like, I was more carefree then when I agreed than I am now.
I went back to doing a sewer line.
I went back to cleaning teeth. I was like, is that all I got? I'm off my lunch break. And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay. But we didn't know when we went that it was for ghost hunters.
Mm-mm.
So they didn't tell you at all? That whole process? Nothing?
I don't remember if they did or not.
They didn't. I would have remembered.
Oh, yeah. They told us later on.
They told us after they told us we got it. They're like, all right, you're a ghost hunter. I'm like, yeah, I'm a ghost hunter. They're like, no, you're on the show, Ghost Hunters. And I was like, well, that just puts it at a whole different amount of pressure.
No pressure.
At least it wasn't Naked and Afraid.
Which I also want to apply for.
Oh, you did. We have friends. I
don't want to do that. I feel I could do all of the stuff except for let's go on.
Oh no. I'll introduce you to some people.
We have another Naked and Afraider coming on next week, actually.
And they were on last week.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the story. That's how we got it.
Awesome.
Wow.
Very grateful. Neither one of us actually thought that it was going to happen. I still can't believe that it happened. I still, it doesn't register to me that we're on Ghost Hunters on TV. I walked downstairs one day and I heard a voice. And I was like, oh, that sounds so familiar. I was like, what's going on? a commercial that came on, and it was me talking, and I couldn't even recognize my own voice. I was like, and kids were like, Mom, look. I was like, yeah, look at Mom. That head wrinkled and dark circles around her eyes. Look at that.
I actually used to see like the commercials and be like, I know them.
We get so pumped for seeing each
Yeah,
other.
that's Richel.
I was
She's
like,
right
that's
there.
my best friend right there.
Aw, that's so cool though.
So did you find out what brought the production crew to you guys? How they found out about you, or?
Nope, never did, never asked. Just was like, all right, let's do this.
Listen, when you get an opportunity like that, you sometimes don't want to bring attention and ask too many questions about it. Like I don't.
We was just honest.
Brian kicked me under the table at dinner because when we found out that Grant was going to be with us, because we didn't know that he was even going to be on it, and that he came up and was like, hey, Richel, it's really nice to meet you. I was like, you know my name? He's like, yeah. He said, I had a hand in picking all of you guys. And I was like, what?
That's what I'm talking about. That's exciting right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He said, my wife and me just absolutely loved you and Brian and all the rest of them. I said, why?
You won't ask who actually put the good word in for you, but you'll ask Grant Wilson why he liked you.
We just kind of went with the, okay, cool, thank you. Let's go.
No, I asked why. And then he laughed and he said that reason right there. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And then Brian's like, go over here. You're thirsty. I was like, okay, bye.
That's so funny. But I think it's funny because he seems like such a laid back, genuine, down to earth kind of guy. And I almost spit my drink out when I think it was you said during that one episode, we grew up watching you. Was that you that said that?
Well, I said it a few times. I sure
You
did.
said, because one of you said it during that sit down, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah, you're sitting here with all these people who grew up watching you do this. Like I was almost waiting for him to just come back with something, smart in return,
Yeah. No, Grant, he's a great guy, and what you see on TV is how he is.
Very nice man. Very nice man. Extremely knowledgeable, and is like, let's just be honest. He's a pioneer. He's one of the I mean, there's a list of people that are pioneers. Him and Jason, they did amazing things for the field, for the community, and we're grateful to even get the to have this opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. That's great.
And we really we got really
sentimental.
That was sentimental right there. This is the most serious we'll ever be right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Michael.
One of my guys isn't even allowed to get anywhere around Grant on an investigation because he investigated back with him in a day and interesting. So if you guys come to Palmyra, New York, we got to get out and get away with us. Yeah. That's a whole nother story. Yeah, we can share off air.
I mean, it's not really a secret or anything, but still.
Right up when you said that, I was like, what?
Yeah. Asking about Ray in the basement. That's all I'm going to say. And Palmyra. And if Ray's here, he'll pop in.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Funny. Oh, my gosh. So I'm curious, though, real quick. How did you, before we move on, sorry, wait your turn.
I always wait my turn.
I know. How did you come up with the name of your group, Riverbend Paranormal? I am always just curious as to how people come up with their names and why.
Actually, the co-founder of the group, Matt, he came up with it. So the area that we live in is called the Riverbend.
Oh, okay.
The river is only about 2 to 3 miles from us.
Nice.
And everything in the area is called the Riverbend. So at first, it was this really long name. It was like Riverbend Paranormal Investigating Society after Bigfoot UFOs. We kind of shut it down. It was a lot to write. So it just became Riverbend Paranormal. And, we had all the T-shirts and stuff like that. And we still have some. I don't know where they're at. But
we still have them.
But I don't have any. Do I?
You sound like me. I gave you the business cards. No, you didn't. You took them home. I gave you the business cards. No, I gave them back to you. I mean, it's like deja vu, only in a different.
I have one business card.
I have none. I've got a face mask that I walk around with, and everybody goes, "Where's the show?" I don't have any friends.
Isn't it stressful?
Oh, man, I'll tell you.
What's
Right,
Not
stressful?
for you, Michael.
I just run the computer. That's, walk
Wait a minute,
around
where's Jonna? Where's your wife? She's usually Dippin in by now.
watching the dogs in the other room.
Where is she when I need her? Come on.
Jokes that like I'm the brains and he's like the brawn or whatever. And like he's like, I just pick stuff up and carry it. We were at the
What's
airport
the
one
joke
day.
of this? This is no joke.
This is the funny thing. We were at the airport one day and he was chit-chatting and my bag came around. So I went to grab it because I carry shit. I can. Well, I grabbed my bag, but it was super heavy and I couldn't pull it off because there was like this little gate, like roped off thing. I don't like a makeshift wall there. And it started pulling me down the little circle thing. I was like, Brian.
I'm
He's
just
like,
talking. Yeah, talk to you in a bit.
I was like, going around the carousel. I'm like, Brian, help me.
I'm just chit-chatting with somebody like, look at her. She's just all about
That I can totally relate to that. That's like, flashbacks from when I'm in the woods with Mike, because it's kind of like, oh,
Left you twice.
Zoom. Oh, well, yeah, I wasn't even referring to when you left me alone twice in the woods. I just meant in general. He like,
don't even do it.
oh yeah, I almost fell down this ravine, and his buddy's helping me up, and Mike's like he's on the trail, and I'm going, what the hell?
And I always say he leaves me in both figuratively and literally. Like we'll be investigating, and he'll see or hear something and take off running. Or like I asked him what he heard, and he's like, shh. I'm like, try. I was like, if you tell me what you heard, I might be able to listen for it too. And like he'll just take off running. We were investigating Waverly Hills, and at one point he had taken off and left me so many times on our run that I just quit following after him. I was like, I don't even care anymore. Like, you're not going to catch a ghost. You can run after it all you want.
Right.
You're never going to actually catch it.
You know y'all can hear everything you're saying.
Hits that wall. Wham.
I can hear that you can hear me.
I can hear everything you're saying about it.
Am I telling a lie?
Some of it.
What part?
Most of it.
What part?
None of it.
Specifically.
None of it. Oh my goodness. We definitely have to get together at some point.
Now, I've got an interesting question
Oh boy.
for Richel and Kristie. Both of you guys
boy.
working in a dental field. When you guys listen to EVPs, can you understand EVPs better than the rest of us?
Absolutely.
I feel like I can.
Oh, because that's
Yeah, the mumbling.
I feel like I can catch EVPs pretty easy and know what's going.
Actually,
I don't know why that just popped into my head,
No.
but like, I'm just thinking.
No, I can have things, propping people's mouths open, and because people always ask. I'm sure they ask you, well, what's the difference between a hygienist and an assistant? Because I always get called people think they're the same thing. I'm on the restorative side. Like if you have a cavity, you need a tooth pulled, surgery, whatever. She cleans teeth, and it's like, if I have you propped open and we have a drill running. Don't try to tell me about what you did this morning. We have all this stuff in your mouth, but I can understand them. Give me an EVP, and I have a very hard time with that, though. I do have a hard time. It must be the frequency or the way it is, because I have to really put like earbuds in and turn it up, and they have to adjust it. And yeah.
See, I'm an audio girl, though. Like, I love audio so much, it's not even funny. Catching something on camera is always cool.
Yeah.
But audio, I feel like it gives you so much more information. You can tell if it's a man, a woman, a child. You can tell if it's intelligent by whether or not it answered you. Versus, now it's not always like for sure,
Right.
but I feel like it gives you more details. Hang on one second. That is not happening.
I'm muting it.
No. No.
I really feel like we got a mirror going here.
I know. Someone can have it at my house with my kids or my husband, and Mike's like, private message. I can hear them. I can hear them. I go, great, because now I'm really going to stress that other people heard that. So thanks for nothing.
You guys. No.
That's awesome.
That's like a 10-year-old who decided that he was going to come in and turn on his video game so we can hear rapid gunfire the whole entire show.
Oh.
Okay.
No, he's going upstairs to watch something.
That's okay. I have 2 down, one to go. 22, 21, and almost 14. So I completely feel your pain on that. That's, yes.
I love the effort, though.
Yeah.
The effort is there.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to mute it. No, because okay. Let me just tell you right now. Because of YouTube and all of these shows where they're watching people play these video games or watching these people, play with toys or anything, both children have to do commentary while they're doing it. I'm like, there's not a camera anywhere. No one can hear you but me. like we're going to the bath. All right, now I'm taking blah, 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 blah.
You must have boys, because boys are really good for that. Sound effects, commentary. My girls, not so much. I wasn't really like that either, but the boys, yeah, they're.
Yeah, I have 2 boys, and they both play by play what they're doing, and I'm just like,
yeah, well,
I have
normal.
I have 2 boys as well, and mine doesn't do the play-by-play. I hear mostly this: "You suck."
Okay, now that's the husband during the football games.
Oh, I can relate with that. You should see him watch football games.
Oh my God, that's hysterical. I love it. It's great though too, because I feel like what I saw in like watching your episodes and seeing you in the show, it's really nice to see how people's personalities don't change. You're just doing what you do, and then you don't even expect the opportunities that come your way. You don't expect anything but to be able to go out and do what it is you love to do, in the way that you feel you're meant to do it. And that's authentic and awesome in my book. So that's pretty good.
Thank you. And I appreciate you guys not judging me for scolding my child on this show. It was extremely
any mom would understand, trust me.
Super sweaty too, because I was like, I wanted to be like, you're not doing this shit right now. You're not pulling this.
I was wanting to tell him, I'll send for help.
But
oh God, no, I usually just grab whatever because I, get hot in the middle. So
Yeah.
But the big thing about it and us going into it is we were ourselves from the beginning, and we tried to remain ourselves throughout the whole entire thing, because I'm not an actor. He's not an actor. Right. And I think it was really good us going into the casting process or whatever, because we didn't pretend to be anything that we weren't. Right. And you can only pretend for so long, and then you're going to have to give it up.
Right.
And it's a relief, because we didn't have to be anything else than who we were, because that's what got us here in the beginning. So
what you see is what you get. This is the way we are, just how we are right here when we investigate, when we're at home, when we do whatever. And anybody that's come across us, and God bless them, they've endured that as well. We're real as you can get.
Yeah, that's great. Go ahead, your turn.
So what has been your favorite investigation, either on the show or just as your team there, in Illinois?
I don't believe that we can talk about it.
We currently can't speak about our favorite one. So let's talk about one of our favorites. One of the favorites that I had on that was one of the episodes was the Perry Mansfield Performing Arts Camp in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. That location was I felt like so active that no matter what building we went into, within 5 minutes you were getting responses. And I like locations like that because a lot of time when you investigate, you don't get anything. And you don't know if you got anything until after you review your evidence. Mm-hmm. And that can kind of be, discouraging, because you're like, am I sitting in a dark room talking to no one and nothing is here? And now I have to wait till I review the evidence to find out if anything actually was going on. And then hopefully I'm able to go back and have follow-up questions from what I've gotten. But they were responding to you while you were asking. So it's like, okay, I do feel like someone is here, because things are happening that I can't explain and I can't debunk. So I know that I'm not just sitting in a dark room talking to myself, which I like that when that happens with locations. Your favorite location, Brian?
I liked Fort Stanton. I liked Alaska, and I liked Galena. To be completely honest, I liked every investigation that we went on. I've liked every investigation that I've went on, show or not show. It's a part of what I like doing. It's a part of who I am, and I enjoy all of them. Mm-hmm. To say a favorite, as long as that person that we're trying to help or Siri. Anyways, as long as they're happy at the end of what the work that we put in, right. I liked Fort Stanton a whole bunch, if you will.
Yes, all the locations that we got to go to, and all the people that we got to meet. It's really that there's so much more that goes into paranormal investigating that people don't I don't know if people understand unless they're a paranormal investigator. The history of the location, just being, you take a step back in time a lot of times, especially when you go to like places that used to be hospitals or forts or things like that. And it's the people that care about them so much that they work them and maintain them so we can go into them, to try to preserve the history. And, you get to meet a lot of amazing people that care about their locations. And I think that's a perk that I like to see passion for things, like if you're passionate about it, I can get behind it. I'm like, all right, at least you know what you're about, and I appreciate it.
Also, something that's very enjoyable for us and was the crew that we had that were making everything happen for us. Kendall and Kyle and Eric, our camera guys, and the producers and everything. Everything was phenomenal. Yeah. For everybody that was a part of it was great, and that helps too. You don't want to go. I don't want to go to work and do things with people that are not into it or slave drivers. I don't know.
Yeah.
These guys, everybody was great.
Yeah.
The locations, the people we met, obviously Richie, our team, Mustafa, Daryl, Kristen, Brandon, Grant.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Where let's come back to one thought, and I'll go forward with the next thought.
Long answer.
Yeah.
That answered your question.
Are we boring you guys?
No, you're not boring us.
Not at all.
With your military background, do you find that certain locations give you something different? Certain historical military sites give you more interaction than you would, let's say, at a hospital or a graveyard or something like that?
I would say the Wendover Airfield was huge for me. Like, these are guys that I grew up learning about and trying to strive to be like, World War II fighters. And I'm huge on the military. I'm a Marine. I will always say that I'm a Marine. I feel like my everyday life is molded because of the Marine Corps. So when I go to a location like that and I'm sitting there trying to figure out what's going on with like World War II veterans and what they went through, it takes me to a whole new level. I think I can really hone in on my skills and what I want to talk to them about. And I feel like it's more than an investigation for me. I'm continuing the mission with them, and I'm continuing their legacy by being there trying to help out and trying to listen and understand what they went through and try to find the answers.
Continue that brotherhood.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Well, thanks.
When you have a location and you're trying to reach out to people, you kind of need to try to find some common ground. Because if you think about it and you're talking to a living person, you don't want to talk to someone you have nothing in common with, right?
Right.
You don't want to be asked a million questions. If you don't have anything to connect with, you don't want to have a conversation with them. So I know Brian had tons and tons of interaction when we would go to those military locations that had a military background. At the Wendover Airfield, they had a firehouse there, and my husband is a firefighter, comes from a family of firefighters. And we went into the firehouse, and one of the claims in there was that they were doing something in there, and someone said, "Hey, you, what are you doing?" So we were kind of going in there trying to replicate it or whatnot, and they had a bunch of trucks. And I know, like, I'm familiar with fire trucks because I've been at a fire station, I've seen them. And so I was trying to figure out, like, what would they have done? What were they doing that got someone to say, "Hey, what are you doing?" So I started messing with the trucks, not like messing with the equipment and things, but opening the doors, shutting them. And I actually caught an EVP of someone saying, "Hey, what are you doing?" So it was cool to show to the client because I actually got a response from that they had gotten. And I was like, I think it's probably someone who like used to work there. And you go in there, if you start messing with stuff, they're going to ask you what you're doing because you can't. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's cool. And then at the performing arts camp, Kristen and I both have experience with dance when we were little. And I was actually a dance coach. So we actually were doing turns and things in one of the theaters, and we're getting some responses. And so I think it's just, you have to find some common ground, and that will actually amp up your interactions and your activity that you can get.
What I don't think people understand that watch a television show, like these cases for us were very personal. You know, we were in it. It wasn't about just being on a camera and hoping people like it. We were actually trying to figure things out and trying to help. We were investigators first. You know, we all come from different places in the United States. We hadn't worked with each other before. We had to build like a team. And these cases, what people don't understand is when we would leave a location, it didn't mean it stopped right there. Like, we still talk to some of the people that we went out and investigated. You know, we talked to several of the locations, and we maintain these relationships. They know that if they have something that's still going on, they can contact us. They became a part of what we do and not just for a show.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That sounds smart sometimes.
I know.
So where's your dream location to go investigate?
Mine's so bad.
Oh, come on. We're good for it.
Mine would be Iraq. To be able to tell the service members over there that, you know, they're heroes and what they did changed the world. And I'd tell them I'd fight right alongside with them again if I could. That's where I'd want to go.
Okay.
Wow.
And that's not bad.
I know, but it's like, it's a
somber.
Yeah. That's where I want to go. I'd want to tell them flat out, like, you guys are heroes, and I'll battle with you right now if I could. Okay, pick us up.
Hurry up. He's like, hurry up.
Mine would be Trans-Allegheny because I know that he wants to go there really bad. And so.
Oh, look who's Miss Sweet.
I know. So I'd want to go there.
Don't say she never did anything for you. Right?
So many times he says something and I have to recover it for him. Like, do good life.
No, there's no recovering on that one. I appreciate that thought. And I know
No,
quite
not
a
at
few of
all.
my friends would. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think everyone can definitely appreciate that for sure. For
Don't
sure.
let that on again.
Yeah, they're like depressed.
Way to go, Depression Donald.
No.
It's all good. So I have a question for you, Missy, over there, because the one episode that I watched as well, you were having quite the empathic meltdown. Now, I am an empath, and that is a huge part of my gifts. It's really the core, in many ways, of what drives my mediumship.
Mhm.
And so, you know, do you think you ever will classify yourself or give yourself that label or title? Or, I don't even like that. Identify with those gifts that you obviously clearly have.
I'm really weird about it. I'll be honest with you. I'm still I've been told I'm a sensitive. I've been told that I'm an empath. And I sometimes like to play it off as I'm observant. And they say, no, you're not. And I'm like, okay. But I don't like to label myself as anything really because I feel like so many people who don't understand it they assume that if you are an empath, then you're psychic. And then when you can't perform, you're a fraud. And I don't want your credibility is all you have in this field.
Yeah.
As soon as you lose it, you're like, no one's going to want to do anything with you because they're going to think you're a fake and a phony. And so I'm really weird about it. Sorry.
Mike can relate to that. Trust me.
We'll bring Vita in here in a second and let her sit in here on the camera.
I will say that I did get Ada Live about that. And I had some people online come to my rescue about she's an empath, you dumbass. And but it's like, trust me on the floor crying because I'm in pain is not what I want out there. That's not.
But it makes good TV.
No, actually, I wasn't even talking about an episode where you were in pain. I was talking about the episode actually where, creeps, I forget where you were, but you were you got the hug. Yes, where you got the hug. And honestly, it's really easy to feel pain. I think that's one of the easiest things to connect with, right?
Yeah.
Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But to have a sentimental, genuine, what's the word I'm looking for?
Experience
of emotion
connection.
But it's a descriptive word. The type of emotion that, and I'm going to say she because I felt like it was a she, hugged you. Actually, I think it was a she. I think it was a female. But the kind of connection and emotion that she was able to share with you on that level that you were able to pick up on is huge.
Yeah.
And identify with it. And you know what? I feel like to each his own. You're right. Like I always tell my clients, I practice spiritual HIPAA because of what we do. That's how I describe it. So, if you can't trust me, I can't help you. And, I totally agree. People are so judgmental and so expectant. Like I've had people even ask me, oh, you're a medium. Oh, well, what's my uncle's brother's, favorite Sherpa? And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can do it in the moment. Maybe I can't, but I'm not a performing monkey either. So guess what? You're going to have to make an appointment. I mean, it is what it is. If I have to answer it, there's a responsibility that comes with having our gifts. So, if in the moment I'm meant to help that person, I will. Mm-hmm. But, it's kind of like you learn to hold your own and own it, no matter what that means for you. And people are too quick to say, oh, if you can't do this, then you must be fake or you must not be able to do what you say, you can do. And it's really hard to learn that you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
and so for people who don't want to title or label themselves or acknowledge a category or whatever it is, that's okay, because at the end of the day, but I feel like for me, it empowered me to be able to say, yeah, I can do this and this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Empowered me to say, yes, I am this. But
Yeah.
that's how I've always been. So it's to each his own with that. And I think it's good that you found like a place where you can identify and be comfortable and just say, I just do what I do. It's whatever empowers us to continue to go on and accept our gifts and go on that journey,
I mean, it's one of those things that I'm not quite sure what I am. And I've been working on trying to be more open to it, to listen to my gut more as opposed to trying to, I know a lot of times when you or at least for me, sometimes things will pop in my head and I try to explain it away. And I've been working on not trying to explain it away, but letting him know what I'm thinking. And then if something comes of it, then great. If something doesn't come of it, then no harm, no foul. It was just something that came in my head. But that investigation where we were at Pocatello High School, and I ended up asking for a hug because Mustafa had came back and he said he had gotten a hug. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I even said in there that hey, you gave my friend Mustafa a hug. Can I have a hug? And it felt like someone came behind me and wrapped their arms around me. And I started to cry, but it wasn't me crying, which I don't think that people understand that. I can't determine how the emotions come across. I don't want anyone to see me cry, let alone it be put on TV. So if I can hold it, I will. But it was like, it wasn't me crying. It was like it was a comforted, oh my goodness, someone's here and believes I'm here and wants to know me. And it was a hug. And when we got back, I had told him, I got a hug as well. And I started to cry. And Mustafa was like, what? I said, I couldn't help it. It just happened. And Mustafa had actually cried, but I didn't know anything about that. And we were describing it to each other and we were feeling the same thing. So it was really cool to validate each other and our experience in there. But yeah, if you ever get a ghost hug, it's weird.
It's awesome, isn't it? It's you are a hardcore empath, my dear. Trust me. Yes. But that's what I mean. Anyone who does it or knows that about themselves, to watch you go through that, you can really appreciate it, and it's special. And it's, even if it's not the nice stuff, to be able to do that and feel those things coming from spirit and even from other people around you. Because talk about a crazy childhood, being an empath as a child, and it's growing up and not being able to explain what's going on and picking up on all these things and not knowing that's what it is. And it's insane. So to be able to identify with it, that's pretty awesome. And it's always better to do it and feel it and let it out than it is to try to sweep it under the rug, because it just makes it so much worse. And it doesn't go away, at least not for me, until I acknowledge or validate it. It will not go away. It's awful. Yeah.
Don't be mean to my dog.
Set on me, on me.
He loves you. But
Just
so anyway.
Wow, that's great.
I was talking about the Madison Seminary investigation that was pretty intense. It actually, I walked into this room and started getting this horrible feeling like stomach pain. And I walked out and eventually it started going towards my back. And it brought me to my knees and my eyes started watering because it hurt so bad. And the only way I could describe it was it felt like back labor. And I was like,
isn't that fun?
If you don't know what it is, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I ended up actually telling our cameraman, Kendall, I said, quit filming me. I said, I'm no use to you right now. Quit filming me. And he was like, okay, so he's like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, I understand that you're here to capture the paranormal and what's going on. The great thing about our cameramen, they're so respectful when you tell them like, hey, don't film me for this or whatever, or I don't want to talk about that. They're like, okay, like no big deal. But that location was weird because Brian cannot take it if something happens to me. He is very protective of me and I love it. It's very sweet, but he got really he was really worried because I was on the ground, essentially on my knees. And he finally was like, stop it. Like whatever you're trying to tell her, don't like knock it off. Do it to me if you need to, but leave her alone. And the weird thing about that was like right after he had said that, it just went away. And then he started acting all funky and like his mood changed completely. And he was wiped out the rest of the night. And he's like, I don't know how to do that. And I was like, okay, so we need to talk about this. I was like, yes, it takes a toll on me, but I know how to handle it. I do not know how to handle when it happens to you because you don't get things like that. I was like, so like, don't take one for the team on this part, like, because it's very awkward for me to try to comfort you.
Yeah.
Like, I think I came up to him and I was like, hey, I was like, you thirsty? I had 2 bottles of water and he was like, yeah, thank you. I said, both of these are mine. You better, like, I was like mean to him. And then he laughed and I was like, okay. I was like, but really, here's your water.
I've never felt like that on any investigation I've ever been to.
Yeah. You played a dangerous game there, my friend.
You know what?
Fooling around. You don't know what you're doing. It is hard because, not to say you don't know what you're doing, but there is a difference between mediums and people who are gifted, who understand because we're on that other level. It's not that we're better. It's just that we have different responsibilities, we'll say. And so we connect with spirit in a different way than someone who just, not just in a bad way. So I don't want anyone taking that the wrong way. But when you go in and you don't have those gifts, you're not connected or have that understanding or the control that it requires to be safe about it, I guess it's hard. And that's one of the first things I teach people that I mentor with and everything else. Do not in any way, for any reason ever, even joke around telling the spirit they can come home with you, because they absolutely will. Going on investigations, but even telling it to do to me, not her. Whoa, you're lucky that's all it did was wipe you out and kind of like teach you a lesson, because it can stay with you for days or, stay with you. And it's very dangerous. It's not, people don't realize,
Do you carry anything with you? Oh, my bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't myself. I was, I would say, very angry. I was angry because I didn't want to see anything happen to her.
Right.
So I did as well say, stop filming me. We're done here. And I walked. And I didn't do more investigating that night. As a matter of fact, I went back to my hotel room and fell asleep with my clothes and shoes and everything on. I was so wiped out that it was intense. It was intense for sure.
I bet.
Do you carry anything like St. Michael medal with you or anything, cross, or when you're out on your investigations, or do any of those prayers, protection prayers or anything?
I got some things, but I don't have them on right now.
No, but I'm saying when you're out there, just
I always do.
running some of those.
Just I always go in very respectful though, and I try not to
push up on anything.
Nope, I try not to. You just don't mess with Richie here, and I'm good to go.
Well, yeah, we know how that is, huh, Michael? Oh my God. The one time we were at this one place and I was like, oh, this guy's touching me. Oh yeah. And he was this awful guy and I'm describing him. I had my recorder out and I was just sticking my hand in the room and I'm going on about this. And I'm like, oh yeah, he was this and the other thing. And I'm hearing something behind me and other people were there too. And I'm like, I turn around and Mike's like, get off her. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh my God, what the hell are you doing?
A couple of St. Michael prayers and a little holy water doesn't work.
What I'm here for. I was like, that's my job. Don't chase him away.
I'm like, I'm working. Like, don't tell things not to I'm not telling anything if you use my energy or anything. I never do that. There's plenty of equipment that we bring that if you need energy, take it from that. Do not use my energy. But I'm like, part of our investigation is me being able to feel things.
My bad.
And like when the investigations, you start running out of stuff where you're like, okay, I don't know what to ask. I don't know what to, like, part of mine's like, well, let's go over here because I'm just feeling drawn over there. Or do you like meatloaf? That's a weird question to ask, but it popped in my head. And now we're getting on to something else. And when you were like, don't mess with her at all, like she's off limits, it's like, well, you're taking away my fun.
But that's what we're supposed to do. Well, yeah. Way to go, you guys.
And especially when you got an SLS and a thermal camera and everything else going, yep, there's something there. And then,
Right.
How are we doing for time, guys, for your end?
I've probably got about 10 more minutes if that's okay.
Yeah,
Of
I
course,
understand
yeah,
that. And
Yeah. So,
What's it say?
what?
What's that mean?
there's a comment at the bottom thing.
Oh, I wasn't going to just go there unless you knew that's what they were doing.
I wasn't going to go there. It's just they don't realize that we're on 8 different platforms at one time right now. So, yeah, we're coming to you from WLFE DB Radio, Where's My Sage Facebook page, Where's My Sage YouTube page, Tactical Bigfoot Research on Facebook, Tactical Bigfoot on YouTube, Christy Lemon's public page on Facebook and on YouTube, and Christy London's business page. So when folks look at numbers, sometimes they only see where we're at on one location. So I think that's where what they were getting at. So
I wanted to be like, you're just a gem now, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I
here.
Hi, Chelsea. So, there's one of our favorites.
Yeah. And actually, Micah got on. She's getting out with us, but she's coming in from us from overseas. A lot of our
she gets
from the
Netherlands
and in England and stuff like that. So so I was going to avoid that one, but that's
sorry.
Brian's like, wait. Hold on, what?
Yep.
I love it.
Trying to be non-discreet, and I was
just
like, but
now
we have to say something.
But I learned a long time ago. I don't try to single those guys out, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, no, it's fine because they have no clue that And then tomorrow, this will go out to 20 different locations, pretty much every one of your top 10 podcast locations and some. So you guys will be out there everywhere.
I'm about to out.
Well, great. I mean, no pressure, right?
No.
We were on TV. I think that ship has sailed.
Right? Yeah, we were on Roku TV for a couple of weeks, and then the gentleman that was running it decided he was going to retire and shut his network down. So we're out looking for another network right now. So, and that'll be happening again very, very soon. Talks and work on that.
So I'd like to know because have you? What's up and coming in the future? Is there going to be another season? Are you going to be returning? Are you allowed to even talk about any of this?
Well, we're not allowed to talk about if there's going to be another season. We're just allowed to say stay tuned. Brian and I have some things that we're working on that we can't talk about, but it'll be follow our social media because we will be posting about it in the near future, and we're very excited about it. Awesome. It's something that we love doing, and we can't give too much information away, unfortunately. We still have to pump the brakes because that's how this.
We get it.
That's how it
is. We get it. Tonight, I actually can make an announcement, and that's what I was going to do in the second half. So the Instagram is up. Their Facebook is up. Small Town Monsters actually has a brand new Bigfoot thing coming out that I'm in, and I got the okay 7:00 this morning. So
Nice.
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
you wait to say things, and you just whoop,
I
slide 'em
know.
in, it's and didn't want to pull from you guys. That's why I didn't say it at the beginning. But yeah, you get those things, and you're just like shh.
Yeah.
Shh.
Yeah.
It's
I was
hard,
with the
isn't
film crew, but I was not anywhere part of the film. Yeah. It's
Very,
like
very soon, there'll be some information out, I'm sure.
awesome. And I just
We'll be
posted the
very
Instagram
excited.
again. So
Not to be a diva brat, but I think you put an N where the R is supposed to be.
well, I'll go through and pull those
wait.
out, and we'll do it again.
Sorry, I didn't have a chance to check his spelling and his grammar yet. So,
Yeah.
You just missed the R. You were typing fast, probably.
oh,
Yeah, I will fix
Michael.
that right now.
You know,
I'm putting the user in timeout.
oh man.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
I can fix these things.
Oh wow. So Brian,
Yeah.
in doing all of this investigative work and for as long as you've been doing it, even with your own group, have you discovered, I believe that we all have these gifts and we have these senses, but some of us are, naturally tapped in, from the word go. Some of us learn to do it. Some of us open up at different times. Some of us can shut it down. Where do you fall into this category? Are you aware, or do you acknowledge any gifts of your own?
I have no gifts. Mine is all. Why are you shaking your head? I literally go into a location.
She'll call you out.
Who? All of you? You guys.
So you go into the location and what?
I go into a location and I let the evidence tell me the story. And I don't go in with a whole lot of feelings, or I can't walk into a room and just come overwhelmed, you know what I mean? Or feel things that I think. I don't know. I just go in there and get at it.
Didn't Richel just say a little while ago that, she'll follow you if you're drawn to a certain area, or you feel a pull to go somewhere?
I mean, she does. Like,
I was talking about, I'll say to go to this area. But
Oh, I thought you said he will feel like you said he would go because he says, oh, I feel like we should go over here. We should go over there.
her. She'll do that, and I'll just go with the flow when she says that.
Okay.
I think we need to go over here. I'll go over there.
Okay.
I don't know. That's where I'm at, I guess.
That's honest answer. That's all I was looking for. That's
But
awesome.
in your own investigations, who picks the location?
What do you mean? Like, who picks where we're going, or
Where you're going to go? When you say, I want to go to this penitentiary, I want to go to this graveyard, I want to go to this haunted ship, this military location. Who's your thinker, your pusher for those kind of locations?
I'd say everybody on our team at home. If somebody wants to go, they'll bring it to the attention of the team. We'll discuss it and we'll get at it. I don't think there's one person that's like, I'm calling this, we're doing this. I think if somebody on the team if Richel said she wants to go to Madison Seminary, then we're going to look at it and see if it's doable, and we're going to go do it. We don't really single it out. Whoever comes up with the idea, we'll go with it.
But it's not that gut of, I really am drawn to this location for something.
I will say this. There is a location that we've recently done. Why are you laughing?
I love this. This is great. It takes the heat off of me tonight.
Not for long.
There's a location that we've recently gone to that, unlike any other, I cannot get it out of my head. I have thought about it on a daily basis. I want to be there as much as possible. I feel like I'm supposed to be there. And it's really the only location that's really ever done that to me. Just made me so invested in it that I feel like I need to be there.
It's not New York, is it?
It's not in New York.
Okay, good. All right, it's not that place.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I'm constantly thinking about it, and I feel like I have unfinished business there.
Interesting.
Huh? Nothing. We'll talk about it later. You don't want to do it right now.
Oh, boy.
Can you guys take one more question from the audience?
Sure.
Okay. So Penny asked, has there been any place that you've gone to that really scares the HE double hockey sticks out of you? Wait a minute, I got a button for this. It scares the hell out of you.
Yeah.
That's where I say, oh, I was supposed to be spelling the curse words all the time.
No. I try to behave. It doesn't always work. Because once I get started, it's just a bad hill down.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say scared the hell out of me. So once this becomes your passion or something that you love to do, your hobby, I feel like as paranormal investigators, it takes us a little bit more to get scared. You can startle me all you want. Like that will happen. That happens at home when my kids sneak up behind me. It startles me. I haven't been to a location that I've been super scared. Madison Seminary, I was worried because that was the first time I had the experience where something that I was feeling had actually brought me to my knees. So I was worried there. I guess you could kind of say scared, but more of like I was leery. Like I was like, I don't know what it is capable of right now. And I don't know why I was trying to figure out why it was making me or allowing me to feel that. So I was leery of that place. But scared? No, I want to go to, it sounds horrible. It makes me sound super unprofessional and not like a good paranormal investigator. I want to go to a place that scares the shit out of me, that makes me want to run, fear for my life, like scary movie scared. I want that. And then I'm like, you want that. And then when it happens, like, what are you going to do? And, no, like does that sound bad that I want that?
No. Why? I hate when people put the pressure or say that there has to be the stipulation that if you're a paranormal investigator, you can't ever be scared, or that you can't ever pick up on something that's not okay and have it make you fearful, truly fearful. Yeah. I mean, I think that's all part of the process. We're still human beings. I'm not going to lie and say that I've never been afraid or taken off down the hall when something scared the shit out of me. Yeah. Did I go back? Yeah. But in the moment, I'm still human and it caught me off guard, dude. So you know what? Just like anything else, I'm going to make sure I'm ready, especially as a medium. So it's kind of like, you're right. A lot of times we can be pushed harder or, and it takes more. Mm-hmm. But I don't think there's anything wrong with, saying, yeah, that scared me and I need to regroup so I can go back. To me, that's responsible and smart.
Yeah.
But
because you don't know what you're dealing with and you have to be ready for anything.
Not every.
Good for you.
Go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
I've thrown a punch at a location.
Oh, I played possum at a location. So apparently when I get scared, that's what I do. I don't know if you guys know what play possum is, but it's the same location who threw a punch. It was a shadow figure, wasn't it, coming at us?
Yeah, there was like a shadow figure type thing.
We were sitting on the ground, and we seen what looked like a shadow figure, and we were trying to figure out how, if it was the windows or whatnot. We were trying to debunk that, and it was over in this corner, and we couldn't figure out where the shadow was coming from. And we rolled a ball to it, and the ball rolled back. And it started coming towards us, and Brian goes to throw a punch, and I just lay down on the floor. Oh, God.
That was a reaction. I try to punch her.
That's so funny.
Did you see that? And then she was a possum.
Yeah.
And,
I'm just going to melt into the floor over here so I can still watch it.
yeah. You
Oh,
can't-
wow.
So,
Well, you didn't run. You didn't run, right?
we didn't do nothing. We sat there and I beat her and she possummed.
But not every location's got to be scary. I mean, it's that historical. That's that history, you know. But I mean, I was with the one investigator, and I ran down a hall chasing corners and everything. We chased something for a good 3-4 minutes, and we realized that's not a person we're chasing because we were on a group expedition. Because if it wasn't a shadow, because we kept doing 90-degree turns down the hallway, and we both went back on. I don't know what that was because we got to a dead end and there's nobody here. We walked back shaking our heads. I'm like, okay. And then I got pushed when we got downstairs. And I'm like, okay, we'll put this one in a notebook, you know, the non-believer's notebook that this happens. And
It was funny to watch. I'm not going to lie. It is what it is. What can I tell you? Just curious, do you guys, as a group, either with your own group or with the Ghost Hunter group, do you practice any kind of protection before and after?
I think that
Together?
we don't do things together. I think everyone has their own little thing that they do.
Okay.
And I mean, I know that at locations that we go to, before I leave, I tell whoever's there that they're not allowed to come home with me, that they have to stay at the location. I will come back, but they aren't allowed to follow me. And it's more just a kind of a protection for me. I also have a protection ring that I wear on investigations that's supposed to ward off negative energy. Sometimes I wear it, sometimes I don't. Like sometimes I feel like it works and sometimes I don't. And I wonder if it's like, I don't know. Like you have to believe in the things that you're doing for them to work.
Yes.
Otherwise it doesn't. So
Mm-hmm.
for some reason, as opposed to the ring I put on, and sometimes I'm like, oh, this is going to protect me. And the other times I'm like, does it though? And I feel like when I'm like, does it? Then I'm like, there's no point in wearing it, Richel, if you're not going to believe in it. And I believe so much in the words of me saying you're not allowed to follow me home that it works for me.
Yeah. It's all in your intention. You're right. If you don't believe in what you're saying or what you're doing, you're right. It's there's no power behind it then.
I have a rosary that I bring to location. I don't keep it on me. It's more for my adoptive dad that he's
Comfort and yes.
He always messages me. He's like, you got your rosary? I'm like, yes, I have the rosary with me.
There you go.
And he feels better when I know I have it with me. I'm like, it's in my backpack. It's at the location I got it. And I'm like, it'll be okay.
That's great though.
Read.
awesome.
Oh, thank you, Gina. No, that's so nice. Well, do you guys need to go? We don't want to keep you if you need to go.
Probably do. We could probably do one
Yes.
more question if you have it.
Okay.
What's your favorite piece of equipment to use on an investigation?
Ooh.
Binaural microphone. I love it. I told you earlier that I was an audio girl. I absolutely love this piece of equipment. On Ghost Hunters, you'll see it's that weird looking ear thing. What it does is it mimics human hearing, but only amplifies it. So it's like supersonic mom hearing. And if you hear something coming from the right or the left or the front or the back, it's directional. So you can tell while you're wearing it, which direction it's coming from. And you know, when we're investigating, we always hear disembodied voices. You know, you hear that, but you never know what they're saying. You're like, I said this with this thing, you know exactly what they're saying. And I've had so many good results with it.
Awesome.
I'm absolutely amazed by it.
Does it record too?
Yes. So
Okay.
you can either plug your headphones directly into it, or you can there's an aux cord that goes into your recorder, and then you plug your headphones into your recorder. And it's It's really great.
It's actually my favorite piece too.
When we do events and things and investigations or whatnot, with the guests that come, we always like to make every one of them try it. And this last investigation that we just went on with our guests, we went up into the smaller, it was an attic, but there were kind of holes in the floor. So we kind of had to stay in one place. And we had every one of them put it on and take a turn, and I'd have them close their eyes. And then one of us would snap, and they would have to tell us where it was coming from. And at one point in time, I went to the opposite end of the attic, which it was a fairly big attic. And I whispered, and then they had to tell me what I was whispering. So it was fun because like, it's cool to see it in action. It kind of throws you off at first when you first put it on, though, because it is amplified and you can hear like you're breathing. And if it's Taco Tuesday, you can hear the digestion. You can hear your stomach processing it. And you're like, oh God.
So it doesn't get rid of any of that background noise or anything.
Well, there's a switch on it too that you can do like flat and whatnot, and it'll drown out some of the background noise. It kind of depends. I usually go onto a location and I'll try either setting, and it's almost like being at the eye doctor where it's like 1 or 2.
I hate that. I was like, slow down.
Have you used it outside at all, or mostly indoors?
I mostly do it indoors. I actually don't think I've ever used it outside. It'd have to be the right location, like very, very, very isolated, because even when you're in the house, sometimes you can pick up like cars going by and things like that.
Oh.
It'd have to be an isolated location, I think.
I was thinking deep in the woods somewhere, and see if you could pick up on animal movement and that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
Well, when we get together, we'll bring it and you can try it out.
all right.
Awesome. Yeah,
Tell us where.
that's great. Looking forward to it.
I already said the same thing.
Oh.
I just wasn't as long-winded.
This is when you go whack.
Yeah, I get hit a lot,
I don't know what you're talking about. Don't badmouth your wife like that.
I got excited. I'm sorry. When Brian says everything, I'm like, ditto. And he,
Ditto.
That's what I could have said. Yeah.
I don't know if you know why I say it. Do you guys know why I say ditto? It's kind of like a joke, essentially, but not really a funny joke.
No.
Ghost.
Oh, yes.
Where he says
Ditto.
ditto.
And he would never say I love you. Yes.
He only says ditto.
Oh.
So, like,
Jeez, you guys. Are you kidding me?
It wasn't Roadhouse. Wasn't watching it.
because
Stupid boys.
What, the banana?
When I say ditto.
What it was from?
Oh, you think it was funny? You don't laugh at my joke so far?
I laugh at it.
I'm glad I'm not there.
Oh, laughing at your joke.
Oh my God.
Hey, Brian.
Brian.
It is cheesy, but I bet you can use it at least once now, and then you're going to be like,
See?
Hi.
Yeah, Brian was supposed to be with us
Yeah.
for the panel, and internet. Gotta love it. It kills you all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Well, let's pick a location halfway between. We can definitely all get together.
Mhm.
That definitely works.
Love it.
I'd love
Absolutely
to.
love it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we definitely. All right. We'll
All
put
right.
it in and we'll figure it out.
You guys have been
I'd
awesome.
love to. Thank you so much. And thank you for
Appreciate
making the time. We know you had
Yes.
some stuff going on last second. So we really are so glad it worked out and you could be here with us. Yeah, for sure. Oh my goodness. Oh, and I just got to say, because it's really bugging me, when I was describing the whole hygienist assistant thing, I feel like I totally downplayed the hygiene by saying, oh, she cleans teeth. That I so feel like I just made that sound awful, and that's not the way I meant it to come out. So,
No, you're fine.
okay. I said that was really jerky. I did.
No. When I describe it, like if I describe everything I actually do, you guys are gonna like your eyes are gonna glaze over and not pay
Yeah.
attention. So I
Yeah.
I clean teeth. Like
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. Like, I know how much you guys, and I'm like, oh, and I did this, and I'm like, oh shoot, that was really awful. Not me.
Fine. I didn't take it away at all.
Okay, good. Thank you. I just felt bad. So, all right. Well, we will let you guys go, but we will definitely be in touch. We wish you all the best, and thank you very much for all the time you spent with us today. This is great.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you.
A really good time.
Yeah, and please stay safe.
So,
yes.
all right.
Thank you. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, that's awesome.
They are
We
fantastic.
So.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, they're so us. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, definitely 100%. So.
Could you imagine being in the same room with them? It's going to be awesome.
So we got some Bigfoot news. We got some news from my end, and
I know.
I'm going to show a little bit.
A commercial break before we.
Yeah, we'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back.
Over as if we don't do that. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Oh, did I even? I don't think I downloaded the new one yet. Oh well, the old commercial.
Sounds like I'm blowing my nose. It's all good.
All right. Well, hey, you know what? Then I will play this video. So, great news, guys. I've been kind of keeping it quiet for the last 6 months, but I was part of a very large Bigfoot project with Seth from Small Town Monsters and his great crew over there. So I can now officially show the trailer of On the Trail of Bigfoot, The Journey. So let's go ahead and share this screen. So, application window. There we go. And play. Where's the play button? We're gonna do that in full screen. Actually, hang on one second. Hey, help if I unmute the thing. Let me try it unmuted. There we go.
Michael, I can't hear anything.
All right, let me retry this again with sound. I guess for some reason it didn't want to come across with sound. So
the whole rest of the show, we had no technical difficulties, knock on wood. So of course,
all right, let me try this again one more time with sound.
People will never forget it now, though.
That's I know,
right?
But yeah, so the Kickstarter starts on that on Thursday night at 7:00 Eastern, and they're going to be blasting it out. So let me try this again one more time. Why the audio didn't share it? It's so weird because I usually don't have that problem.
You think it's that weird?
No, but we're going to try it again. Folks, let me know if you can hear it or not. And again, if not, after seeing my ugly mug, it's also a good time to maybe run and grab something to drink. So let's try it again. All right.
There he is.
There we go. Okay, there I am. Yep, I got to start this thing here. Okay. Do we have sound now?
Yes.
Okay.
On like a personal level, this is probably the place where I finally considered the possibility the Bigfoot was real.
Bigfoot is sighted all over this region. This is a great pathway for them. There's not a lot of people living in that region. There's a lot of unexplored land and forests.
I think that Whitehall almost functions as a gateway to this area, and kind of what we talked about a lot of the researchers was the possibility of migrational routes and the way these things are moving into other states, into Vermont where there's other sightings, and then you have this vast wilderness.
One thing that's impressed me in the 40 years is how this topic can be a life changer.
As it came around the side of the truck, looked me right in the eye. I was pretty much paralyzed with fear and shock and awe. I went to jump in the truck, and when I turned, there was about an 8.5-foot one standing behind the truck.
And as I was coming down the hill, and I was looking up, and all of a sudden I see this big shadow, and he stepped over the fence, and I look at it, I go, oh my God.
So that is our upcoming film. That's one
That
of
looks
Seth's-
amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a bunch of things coming out. There's another Bigfoot that'll be out after that. There's a Rougarou coming out. They have On the Trail of UFOs that's hitting. And right now, for you ghost folks, check out their On the Trail of Hauntings. And Seth
wait.
gave me the permission today to, share that and get the word out. And like I said, Small Town Monsters, their stuff is what got me started into the Bigfoot realm, especially the Whitehall area. So it was really cool to wake up this morning and say, hey, this is out there. And again, we always told him we would make sure we were there when he was ready to rock and roll. And they've got their Kickstarter starting to help, with the production of getting some of the, the DVDs out. They're going to have a tabletop book with some of the photos. And I'm telling you what, we went to some locations that were absolutely amazing. And people ask all the time, why do you do the Bigfoot thing? Because like the scene behind me, those are photos from locations, and that's from the Everglades where I did things. There's some amazing spots in the, in the Adirondacks that we got to in the Whitehall area. It's absolutely amazing because you can do Bigfoot. You can go up the road a little bit, the skiing house, skiing manor, and that's a haunted house on top of a castle, overlooks the valley. So you can do paranormal down there. You can go up to Lake Champlain and go look for Champ. I mean, it's an amazing, amazing place to go and just get away. I mean, it's 4 hours for me. I just jump in the car and go. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate Seth, and I was very honored to be part of that project myself, and Steve Cull's part of the Squash Detective team. So we're getting that out there. And then Alex Petrikoff, and we had Alex on the show as well, and I'm going to be on Alex's show on Monday night. So again, it's a big Bigfoot day, and unfortunately, I'm up against the brand new debut of Finding Bigfoot. So they're coming back out again. I'm like, on Monday night of all times. So, Brian, have you ever been to what's we got here? Ever been to Rockton in PA? There's some lure here for Bigfoot. I might have driven through there. I've been to the Chestnut Ridge. I've been to the Alleghenies. In fact, I was supposed to be down towards the Alleghenies last night, but this wonderful northeast storm got there and just messed things up. So, so Gina's asking, I don't live far from the Everglades. There's plenty of sightings down in the Everglades. I ended up going out with Aaron Phillips from He's a survival guide. Life Survival was his podcast and show, but he was also on Naked and Afraid, and he's an outdoor guide for Animal Planet. We ended up going out, and that's where these photos are from, and some of the others that I use, looking for some stuff. And we found some great, interesting, some Indian burial grounds that were there, historical sites, alligators and big snakes and everything kayaked in. And the shelter that we were in kept getting hit all night long by rocks of some sort.
Grizzly bears.
We did
Snoring
have
grizzly bears.
You can actually you can go back live on YouTube.
Sorry,
it's one
I
of
couldn't resist.
our first one's March of last year, and I'm trying to do a live stream, and we had a black bear come right into the middle of the camp, and Aaron's off chasing him off, and I'm still trying to do the live stream, and he's just like, hey bear, and chasing it out.
Yeah, no big deal. Here, bear.
Yeah, we're surrounded by water, and it finds the only piece of dry land to come sneak up on us. And as I snort all night long, because I keep a recorder going, you can hear something hit the shelter, and I'm like, But
Nice.
I just quick for a break there, so folks to get up. I put that up, but we really need to thank Brian and Richel for coming on tonight and being with us. That
You were great,
for,
weren't they,
for
guys?
us is just a mirror of the two of us. I mean, the craziness. You can watch us on an investigation with the two of us arguing at the 1890 house. I mean, it just,
I know.
that was just a goofy night. But
Absolutely.
Gina, there's definitely a lot of Bigfoot stuff you can look in. I plan on hopefully getting back down there this winter again. And actually, Aaron got a hold of me a month ago. A buddy of his had 2 sightings on their property at the north end of the glade. So you never know. But if anything, folks, remember when we go out and pick a location or do something, there's usually a lot of history, a lot of local lore, be it the first settlers or the native peoples in the area, or man, you just found the most beautiful place in the world to just go set up a campsite and run a camera. So yeah, that was my big announcement, is that on the trail of, and again, check Seth's stuff out, because you're into werewolves or something like that. He's got the whole thing on the Beast of Bray Road, and he's been a wonderful guest and a wonderful supporter of our show. So
Absolutely. Everyone's asking, where can it be seen? Where can they watch it? Where can they find you on your
That's going to be coming
debut?
up. That's going to be coming up. It'll officially be out in April. And it'll be on Amazon and all the big streaming services. It'll be right off the Small Town Monsters as they have a YouTube channel, and they actually have a squad thing where they actually, some of the hidden interviews or the full interviews from their documentaries are on. So I find it's great. They just did the Mansfield Reformatory as well, and watching them doing a live broadcast as they're filming. So watching the documentation, if you're into filmmaking, it's a great thing. And I've got a halo behind me for some reason. It's
no,
not.
You don't.
It's the green screen. It's gone now. I stretched the screen out. But
Wow. Test.
no, it's very interesting to watch how a production's been put together, and working with Seth, who's an amazing cinematographer, and Alex and Adam, and those guys were great, and Mark Mansky, who does a wonderful. They've got another little podcast and stuff, but they found some great people to do their voiceover stuff. The Momo, Minerva Monster. I mean, there's just so many. Like I said, the Beast of Whitehall is one of those things that got me started, because it was all law enforcement sightings up in that Adirondack place, and, in the neighborhood. And those were some of the first sites that Steve took me when I got started. So got to give a thumbs up between those guys and Ryan Reading over at Western New York Bigfoot. And Ryan reached out to me to do an investigation this week. So it's been a really interesting Bigfoot turnaround. I thought I was going to have a little more info and stuff, but again, it's snowing and really cold up here. And if we weren't going out there, I'm sure the animals aren't moving out too much either. So I was not going to sit there with a thermal camera. And I know my partner here wouldn't go out for a Bigfoot thing like that either in the cold.
I see this right here. You could just, use modern technology and like you did when you were in the Everglades last year. And I'll just say, hi, I'm going to sit right here in my warm house. And
Yeah.
you can go sit in the 10 feet of snow and freeze your arse off because it ain't going to be me. No.
You know what? I'll put a little link here to Small Town Monsters in the chat here. I'm going to wait the microphone over a little bit here. So what else has everybody else been doing? So we thank the folks that actually got on with us the other day when we did our investigation.
That house was just gorgeous, beautiful, and the interaction was fantastic. We had some really good interaction.
It's absolutely amazing. For those that watched and we saw the basket on the ground, we could not figure out why it was there or when it was there. It was there before we got down, but again, like Richel was saying about reviewing your evidence, we waited, we got back and packed in our separate rooms and we're looking at evidence and text messaging each other like, hey, that thing was on the floor, but we can't understand how it was on the floor. The owner or
how we didn't see it.
Owner / caretaker of the property couldn't figure out who things were.
How it got on the floor and how it was placed the way it was, because if it fell, it would have been like quirky and off, and it was just it still blows my mind that neither of us saw it, because it was such a shock when I walked around that corner and saw it. But
it was a 4 foot piece of something. How neither of us, I mean, Kristie walked right up to the thing, how she didn't trip on it, how I didn't notice when I turned to look at her. I mean, that was just weird. But man,
because anyone who knows me knows I'll trip over anything.
It was really, really cruel. So the Small Town Monsters made Gina remember. Cool. I am going to get hearing aids because maybe I hope so. My speech. So too many years of diving, I think. Just kind of the thing.
Yes, my friend, I think it's time.
All right. It was cool to see that. It was an exciting night. I still didn't see it. Yeah, it's right there at the end, Lori and Dave. It's
Thank
really
you.
a cool thing. So next week we've got Stacy coming on from Naked and Afraid, correct?
Stacy Osorio, yes. Yep, and she was on Naked and Afraid. She's a 2-time survivalist, but she does some other things too, and she's a podcaster as well, and that's really big for her right now. So we're going to talk a lot about that. And she has a new project coming up that she's working on. So it'll be very interesting. I love how all the Naked and Afraiders are healers or holistic and have so many other things going on, which is why they end up being on Naked and Afraid, because it all ties into what they are already doing and who they already are. So it'll be really interesting to talk to her.
I got tied into her because her interest in martial arts, and next thing you know, we're talking about Bigfoot, and I'm like, how did we go from Kung Fu to Bigfoot? Where did that intersect somewhere? Because I've yet to see a hairy Bigfoot Kung Fu guy. There is the urn. I don't know, but that's the Chinese Bigfoot. But I know never seen somebody do a meme of him doing Kung Fu or anything yet. So that's what we got. We're a little early tonight. But we'll have some stuff coming up.
We do have
to try to figure out some stuff. We're going to be helping out another up and coming podcast to get their stuff started soon in a couple of weeks, and that will be a whole interesting platform with energy and animals. So we're looking forward to it.
It's going to be great.
So
and it'll be new. That's something we haven't done yet before. So that's going to be great. I know. I'm looking forward to that. So, and animals give off their own energy. It's a whole different.
For those that are still with us, please like, share, subscribe. We still have the Instagram thing going, the giveaway. So I'll pop that up there quick. Go over there. Please like our Instagram, share our YouTube, share our Facebook. We're trying to get those numbers up. So please, if you can help us any way you can, share that YouTube, share that Instagram. I'd really like to get
tell your family, tell your friends.
Yeah, get up that 500 followers, on YouTube and Instagram. Soon. It helps us do some other things.
Brian,
other platforms, and I got to come back to the comments. I was in the wrong thing. Whoa!
I love this guy. Poor
So
dog.
for those listening in on our podcast later on, Brian's Peter Paranormal out of Pennsylvania, and his technology didn't help him. He was supposed to be on. We really wanted his energy, for the panel, but my dog gives off fat and lazy energy. Yeah, I know that. I have one that doesn't move, and the other one just keeps barking in my face all the time. So
They're
it's
good
time to
girls.
release the hounds. So
yeah.
All
So
right.
stay tuned because we do have some investigations planned and some up and coming events this summer and probably a couple more this spring. So yeah, it's going to be wild and crazy, hopefully.
Yep.
As long as COVID cooperates and the weather.
Hey, I got my first shot. Oh.
Ooh, I get it. I'm good.
Yeah.
I did it the old fashioned way.
So
great.
So I got to remember
All right.
to download the next commercial. And but check out our WLFE DB radio and please like and share their Facebook page.
Subscribe.
Subscribe it. I know it's a lot, guys, but we do really appreciate the support. It gets the word out there, and folks can find out a little bit more with us when we're doing some other investigations. And hopefully somewhere down the line, we can get some folks out to do some investigations with us when you're close by.
Yeah. We have a whole bunch of ideas in the works. So stay tuned, you guys, for sure.
Okay.
All right. Well, in the meantime, if you're in our area, stay warm, stay safe and dry, stay healthy, and have a great week.
And sample on.
Goodbye, everyone.